Okay.
All right, what's up, world? Uh,
What's up?
Marcus D. Leslie here on Sipping Social Lite. Special guest today. I got the new Kendra Rice on here, twin,
Hey, twin.
the virtuous twin
Virgo gang.
type shit. Nah, man, this is awesome, man. Uh, me and you, we vibe since day one. We understand each other. Um,
Facts.
but you're an incredible woman outside of just me thinking that you are. You're actually an incredible woman.
Thank you.
And before we get going, just tell people, obviously your name, what industry you're in. Tell us a little bit about Kendra.
Okay, so Kendra, I reside currently in Huntsville, Alabama, but I'm originally from Kentucky. Um, as far as Marathon Capital goes, I am the CMO over the marketing, but other than that, I own a nonprofit called Love Like Tina that I own with my two younger daughters. It's in honor of my mom. I'm also an author, and I have my own publishing company where I help other potential authors self-publish their book. And I have a 9 to 5. I am a healthcare revenue manager. I've been doing that for 13 years, so very busy.
Yeah, motion. I like that. I mean, and even that part is so important. Like ownership is a major key that we teach, we educate on ownership, but it's
Mhm.
okay to work your job while you building these
Oh
other
yeah.
things.
A guaranteed check is better than no check.
Everybody will be like, man, I'm gonna stop working my job. I'm just gonna focus on this. Nah, man, hey,
Mm-mm.
24 hours in a day. Use all of them.
Facts. And if people be sleeping on like working a 9 to 5 and still being ownership because insurance outside of working a 9 to 5 is expensive. So that's another reason why I keep my 9 to 5, especially because it's remote, pays for all my healthcare and medical and dental and all that for me and my kids. It's cheaper to get it through them than going on my by myself, like as an owner, like as just a full, you know, owner of a business. So yeah, I'm keeping that thing.
And I feel like we're running into a very common theme in this season of Sipping Social, and it's more about financial. It's well, my best friend he says it's not so much about financial literacy because you can't get to financial literacy until you understand financial responsibility. And I feel like
Fact.
the common theme that we keep running into with these Sipping Social Lights this season has been financial responsibility. And so, in your world, especially when you have so many moving parts, like how do you responsibly handle your finances?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. So I came across wealth very fast and it was very new. Like I've always done good for myself, but it's a different type of good when it's zeros at the end of it that you ain't used to. Because I've always been a hustler. But to me, I think where it helped me to be like, okay, let me stay on the straight and narrow path. I don't need to be out here just getting all these liabilities. It's because I know what it's like to have nothing. So as much as I wanted to go out there and splurge, I have so many people depending on me. And I don't want to let my mom down. She fortunately was about her business and she had multiple insurance policies in order for me to obtain wealth to pass down for generations. And up until my mom passed, I knew about life insurance and how it can, benefit the you as you pass down generations, but I really didn't understand how much wealth it really can place into your life. So I immediately contacted a colleague of mine who's a financial advisor. And before I spent one dime, I sat and talked with him and made sure that I made my money make sense so that when my kids come grown, they're good. Because I feel like most people who have kids, that's what you live for, is to make sure your kids don't struggle. So that was my main priority was my kids. That's always my why, no matter what I do. And so I just didn't want to fail them. I wanted to make sure that we had not only what we needed, but if something was to ever happen to me or I couldn't work, we still had money in the bank to live off of. So I live very modestly. I don't splurge a lot. And I just don't buy a whole lot of liabilities. If I can't buy it with cash, I'm not going to go out and get a whole bunch of loans. I'm not doing any of that. And it takes a lot of trusting yourself, because it's easy to want to go out there. I like bags, so it's very easy, but I always think about my kids in the background, so that keeps me humble.
And that's a thing with our community. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we mess up money when we get it because we never had it. You know what I mean? And
Facts.
we're working on changing that narrative. Like there's absolutely a piece of our community that's doing well for themselves. But as a
Mhm.
whole, what we don't see a lot of us doing well. And then when we do see someone doing well, we see how they manage that money. And a lot of
Yeah.
times it's irresponsibly, or if it is responsibly, it's not explained to us what's happening.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a lot of gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Like, even with my situation, there's plenty of time I had to put stuff in Chat GPT. Like, I put a whole contract in there because I just was not hip to it. And I didn't have anybody that was hip to it that I could call and be like, hey, can you explain this to me? But I feel like that is something that is missing. And hopefully that's something us at MCI can do, to help our culture and our community, is educating them and giving them the information, because when I scroll on TikTok or social media, it's a lot of people wanting to show their wealth, but nobody is sharing how to obtain the wealth and keep the wealth. And keeping the wealth is actually harder than getting the wealth, that a lot of people don't realize. So, yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yep. I mean, we definitely have a culture of go get the money, go get the money. We at least got to that place as a people.
Right.
Yeah, go get some money. But getting the money is the first part. Then there's the investing the money. We even got to the investing the money part.
Yeah, you're right.
But what I have noticed, and I'm gonna ask you this question in a moment, but just from my own experience with my family, when my grandparents passed away, the issue became protecting the money. My grandfather made the money. He learned how to invest the money, but they didn't protect the money. And that
Right.
problem. And I know that you went through something, I'm not going to ask no details,
Mhm.
but absolutely, rest in honor, rest in power to your mother.
Thank you.
But I know that you went through some challenges just with the estate planning for that. And if you will you just speak on some of those challenges?
Yeah, so first of all, what is it in say? Like, I didn't even know what that was until I was going through all of this. But it's so crazy because that little bitty word, estate, it can save you so many dollars and so much time. So in my particular situation, my mom passed away. She was never married, and I'm the only child. So everything automatically came to me. So my mom, she didn't make a lot of money at her job. She worked the same job. I'm 37. She worked that job 31 years of my life. Never owned a car. The only asset she had was her house and her life insurance policy. She had a will, and so most people think that, okay, she good. Like, she set me up straight, and she did. But the thing a lot of people realize is they stop at that wheel and think that just because you put all of these things that you want left, who you want them left with, that it's over after that. And that's what I thought. So what happened was, when I went to go get the house inherited to me. So because my mom lives in Kentucky and I live in Alabama, how a will goes is, if there's any type of property like a car, bank accounts, a home, if you don't have a trust, which is what you need in estate planning, you have to go all through the court. And that costs money because now you have to get a lawyer. Now you have to abide by whatever the state is where you inherited, whatever probate laws they have, you have to go by that. And that took a lot of time and a lot of resources. And during that time, if you do have property like a house, you still have to pay the mortgage, you still have to pay the utilities. You can't get any of that stuff cut off, and that costs money. So you really obtaining money, but you actually are spending a lot of it in order to keep your assets even to get it. So, for instance, in my situation with Kentucky, anything you're inherited by a will, you have to go to probate. And then, let's say if I decided to sell the house, my mom passed away in August. If I wanted to sell that house, or if I got an offer on her house in December, I could sell it, but I couldn't spend not one penny of that money. Because in Kentucky, once you file with the court that, hey, this is my mom's legal will, this is her handwriting, this is true to my knowledge, I am who I say I am, you have to wait 6 months from the day you go to court to even have any access to that money.
That's
And during, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And then during that time, it's like as soon as a person passes away, it's like an email goes out. So if anybody in the world knew my mom and she owed them some money, all of them people can look it up in court. Hey, this person has active probate in court, and they can file claims to your case to get their money back. And that's exactly what happened to
that's
me.
against the estate.
Yep. And so how it works is, even though it's not your debt and you didn't make it, you didn't take the loan or whatever the case, the credit card bills, the medical bills, even though you weren't responsible for it. If you are the inheritor of that state, it is your responsibility to take any money you get from their assets and pay it. And they don't take settlements. They don't give
Basically,
you no.
they're transferring your mother's debt to you.
Absolutely. But
That
the
is
only,
crazy.
yeah, the only thing that protects you is that if I wasn't to pay it, it would never come to my credit. It would never fall on my credit. But I can be sued because if, let's say I sell my mom's house and they know I'm getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from this sale, but I didn't pay their debt, they can then turn around and sue me.
So the debt becomes yours. They just can't put interest on it.
Exactly.
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
So this is why I feel like these conversations are so important because there's so many things. I know you know my recent hashtag, we got work to do.
Yeah.
That's an educational thing. It's like it's not about actually physically working. It's about the educational piece, making sure that we're informing and learning how these things work. Like I would
Mhm.
have never known that if you hadn't have just told me that. I never knew that. And I
Yeah,
lived
I didn't
with
either.
my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? But I
Mhm.
didn't know that part of it. And so is this a conversation that you have with your children?
Absolutely. Immediately once I got myself in a situation, I had the conversation with my husband because he never knew about any of this, and my kids. And I talked to my lawyer and I was asking him, like, what ways could I do with as a mother to prevent having to come do all of this? Come into court, driving hours to court, and how people can avoid having to do probate at all and having to go spend lawyer money and all that is by getting a trust. A trust trumps all that. And what a trust is basically a will, but it's basically like a business. Like you have, when you go get a business, you got to get an EIN number or whatever, and you're protected. Let's say somebody wanted to sue our business because we have an LLC, we're protected. So that doesn't affect us personally, our personal credit. So that's basically what a trust is. So I immediately went and got a trust for me. And if something was to happen to me, everything that I own, from my bank accounts, my car, my house, it's all listed in that trust. So when I perish, my kids don't have to go through probate court. It's automatically going to be turned over to them. They don't have to go to no court, no judge, no lawyer, or anything. And if my mama would have got a trust and put her house in her trust, I would have avoided all of that.
So
But
can you attach your life insurance policy to that trust?
you sure can. And what I didn't know is that with a trust, you can get that by like it's online. Like you don't even have to go into an office to do it. It's something you can do online. You pay one fee, but the benefit of a trust versus a will is if you want to go change your will, you got to go see the lawyer about that to get all of that changed. With the trust, the company or the person that does your trust, you're able to edit that no matter how many times you want without having to pay extra fees.
So you know I'm gonna need you to give me a list of some of these companies that you looked into for these trusts. We can put them at the bottom.
Yes, I absolutely got you.
This
So
is
from
this is important game.
yeah, and it actually benefits you like the inheritor. So for me, I am inherited the house. And the good thing about inheriting house, and this is how you pass that torch and really get to like realizing the money in life insurance. Anytime you have a house or any type of property and it's inherited to you, you don't have to pay no taxes on it. It's tax free. So my mom bought her house in 2001. Her house was built in 1970. So just imagine how much she paid for her house compared to now. So the equity in that house was crazy when I got it reappraised. So once her house is sold, I don't have to get no taxes taken off of that. So if I want to sell her house for 250,000, I get 250,000. I don't pay no taxes. And if I didn't want to do that with no realtor, I don't have to pay no realtor no fee. It all comes straight to me. And all I would have to pay is the closing costs or if she owned anything on her loan. And that's how you build your wealth because a lot of people, we have this generation where we're like, don't sell your grandmama's house, don't sell the house, don't sell your house. And that's how I was because that's how I was always told. It was so many people in my ear saying, don't sell your mom's house, don't sell your mom's house. But I had to do the numbers and really talk to people. And a lot of people think owning property and being a landlord is a milk machine, and it's not. A lot of people lose money because you got to think about our economy. I can rent her house for $1,500 a month because it's a very rural area, so it's not that many people living there. But if I only have that one property for rent, after I pay the insurance, all of that, I'm only profiting $300 a month.
And
So why would I?
that's
Yeah,
not what an investment property is. And I
you
love
have to get
that.
multiple in order to see money in that.
And
And
that,
so for me, I didn't need the house. I'm all the way in Alabama. So I was like, it makes more money for me to sell it because that's 200 something thousand I'm getting one time. To where if I rented there for $1,500, I'm almost 40 years old. The average person lives to 65. I wouldn't see that money renting it all that time, and it's a lot of work, a lot of money, renovations. When your tenant leaves, you're gonna have to refix it up or whatever. And I felt like I needed that money to help take care of my kids now. And to be tax free, I can take that money and put that on a down payment on a smaller investment that don't require that much money to buy a property and just do it all over again. Just keep flipping it. So that was my mindset. But like I said, I didn't know any of this until it happened to me.
and that's the whole point of generational wealth that,
Yep.
that us as a people have to understand. It's not about not selling Big Mama's house. It's about the fact that Big Mama bought that house, she owned that house, she owned that real estate. Now that real estate can be flipped into something else that continues to grow the family, continues
Yeah.
generation after generation. It's not about keeping the house. One thing I learned from my mom was still really into real estate, but she never bought residential properties to keep. She
Mhm.
always bought them to be flipped. You know what I'm saying?
Smart woman.
To be sold. You know what I'm saying? They're always being bought to be sold. If you're going to make money off real estate, the best way to make money off real estate is a commercial property. Commercial property is 4 doors or more. If I'm
Yep.
correct, 3 doors or 4 doors or more.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but that's multifamily properties. You're not buying a one family property to rent out. That's you know what I'm saying, especially where we're coming from as a people. We're starting from a negative, getting to a zero and trying to get to a positive. You don't buy
Right.
a house like my grandparents' house just got sold. They, like I said, my grandparents, same thing. They bought the house a long time ago.
Hmm.
Equity in that house, the worth based on inflation, what that property is worth now is incredible. It's in
Crazy. I already know
Southwest
it's a
Atlanta,
bag.
South Fulton. It's in South.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Talking about
And all
gentrification.
the gentrification,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so that property is worth so much that yeah, it hurt to see that house get sold because we
Hmm.
grew up in that house.
Right.
What they did for us was so much bigger. And we don't understand that because a lot of us have that mentality of coming from nothing, so we don't want to let go of nothing. But letting
Yeah.
go is how you can't grab something new till you let go of something old.
That is so true.
You know what I'm saying? And I
Hmm.
think that's a beautiful thing that your mother, and like I said, man, I really want to be very clear about this. Rest in power, because I know
Yeah.
out there, even the way you spoke about, it, I knew she was incredible.
Yeah. That's my dog.
But she did something so incredible for you. Like
Man, that's the best type of love. I tell my kids the best type of love is for somebody to consider you when they know they're not going to be here.
to think about you when you don't exist.
Hmm.
So I follow Dr. Boyce Watkins. I follow him.
Oh, I love him.
I listen to him every morning.
Yeah.
And one thing he talks about is there's a level of agape love are that older black people had that we have to rediscover.
Hmm.
And that is to think about the legacy of the people that come after you that you never even met yet. So your grandchildren, to love your grandchildren so much. I'm talking about the ones you ain't got no grandchildren yet,
Yeah.
but to move in a way that I love them so much, I'm gonna set them up now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I may not be. I'm a girl dad. I have
Hmm.
all girls. Love my babies. Statistically, I'm gonna have grandchildren. I have
Yeah.
three.
Oh, absolutely.
So the moves that I make, I'm thinking about it that way. Like
Hmm.
I want to make sure that my grandbabies ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm instilling values into my daughters that I know they're going to pass on to their children. We don't do
Right.
excuses in my family. You know what I'm saying? You eat what you kill in my family. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that's how I raise my daughters. They're going to teach them what their dad taught them, but my job is financially, generationally. I want to set them up so that when they have children, it's always something there for them.
Hmm.
I told them, I said, the only thing I'm gonna be able to give you when you become adults is an 800 credit score and some.
Yeah.
I want to give you credit and some money.
Yep.
Give you, you know what I'm saying? I want to teach you in a way that you can take this and make it better. Like my mom taught me differently than how I'm teaching my children. My mom taught me by her actions. I watched my mom grind,
Hmm.
but I also watched my mom work a long time.
Yep.
So when I saw that, I was like, I got to figure out how I can generate wealth without breaking my body down.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's the power of life insurance that a lot of Black people don't realize. You literally can work every day of your life, and a policy that you pay monthly, $20, can leave your kids hundred thousands of dollars to $1 million, easy. And it's happened so fast. A lot of people don't realize the cost associated when a person passes away. Like they think once they're in the grave, that's it, but it's not. It's not like that at all. You still gotta pay their debts and make sure they're dead. They don't care nothing about your loved ones. Cause I was getting bills in the mail from my mama, and I was like, hold up, why are they coming to my house? And I called the hospital because she had a medical bill for like 12,000.
Mm.
I called the hospital. I was like, y'all send me this bill. Is this a mistake? And they was like, no, we see that you are her what's the word they use?
Beneficiary.
No, you're her administrator.
Mm.
That's what it's called after if a person has a will and you're in their will. Administrator or executor. And so we were just letting you know she still is do this. I was like, huh?
Uh, yeah,
Man,
usually
I was
they make you
sick.
have to they make you turn in what certificate of death.
Yes, so you have to get all that. You have to give them a copy of where the judge signed off that you are that executor of the will. And once they do that and the judge stamps it, all and that's another thing I don't like about wills. Anything a person does leave you, if you have to go through probate because you don't have no choice, all that's public information.
Mm,
And I didn't like that. I didn't like if they had access to my address, my phone number, all that, because now y'all really gonna be bugging me. You know what I'm saying? That's where if I had a trust, they wouldn't have had any of my information. So yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, people need sleeping on them life insurance, a term policy right now, because we're in our 30s, 25 bucks. And you can leave your kid a $250,000 once you pass away. You know how much your kids can do with that when you dead and gone.
right. And even the opportunities to be able to borrow against your policy, that's another
Yeah.
tool. I would
Mm-hmm.
love for you, I would love for you and Carlita to have a conversation about this one day because
Yeah.
information is, I mean, I'm still learning about it.
Yeah. It's so much game in that.
Yeah, and but I mean, my dad talks about it all the time. He was like, "Man, we a lot of the things that we've been able to do, that's life insurance."
Yeah. And that's what I was talking to my husband because when we got our trust, the company that we got it from is actually a black owned company. They're in Nashville and they do basically all that your trust, your will, life insurance, investments, all that. So they set me up from top to bottom.
What's the
But
name of
one
that?
of
What's the name of that company?
Wilson Wealth,
Wilson Wells. We might
yeah, they're in Nashville.
about that.
Marcus Johnson is the CEO and Terrence Holt is over the life insurance. He is who I use and I talk to day to day. But Marcus Johnson, he is the one in charge of like my 401k, my investments, all of that. And I always say, MCI, we bet our money and we're the best investment group that I know. But if I wasn't a part of MCI, I would want to know about them because they have made my money do the bankhead bounce in a
Right.
short amount of time, even with this economy. And that's what I'm saying. That's another thing people don't be realizing about it's investing. You're gonna make so much money investing just a small amount, 5,000. And just watch if you don't touch it, watch what it does. But yeah, they told me about the IUL, and I was like, what you mean I can borrow from my insurance? So they had me getting all these policies, and that's what I was talking about earlier when I said I had to put it in chat GPT.
Yeah.
Because I did not know all this existed. But it's crazy that something so tragic has to happen for you to even know of this knowledge. And that's why I'm saying, like, we need to do better as a community about gatekeeping because it's so much we don't know.
I think that's the most powerful thing about what we do at MCI. I love
Mhm.
that our number one pillar is education. These conversations matter. As you learn, teach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm learning a lot just from talking to you. Excuse me. I'm learning a lot just from talking to you. And I can't wait to put this out there in the world because at the end of the day, it will be there for people like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause we're not being taught this. Like, I don't,
Mhm.
I know why they're not teaching it to us, but the reason that we're not teaching to us is because a lot of us just don't know.
Facts.
Don't know. And the language behind it is given to us in a way that sounds like it's complicated. One thing that I learned just in becoming a stock investor,
Mhm.
as I started really educating myself, I realized the words are big, but the concepts are simple. They use
Oh, yep.
big words because they don't want us to, they don't want us in it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But once you get in it, you realize, oh man, this is regular stuff. This is addition. This is arithmetic. This is
Yeah. You're right.
addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentages, fractions. That's all it is. But they put it in a language that keeps us away from it because they know.
Yeah. Intimidates you.
It exactly. And it's our
Mhm.
responsibility to present it in a way for our people that it brings us into a different space. It brings us into a place where we can grow. You know what I mean? I think that's our responsibility. We actually talked about that on the Sip and Social before. Like it is our responsibility to do.
Mm-hmm.
because it's
I
not.
think we should do that as our next sip and social for real. Let's get Carlita to talk about insurance with all of our owners because I know a lot of them don't know.
Yeah, and I'm definitely, like I said,
Mhm.
I would love for you to spearhead that in terms of, hey, just let me
Yeah.
know what you need, but you set it up her and you talk to her. I would love, I would love, especially y'all being black women. That's so
Mhm.
dope to me. Like y'all having that conversation would kind of be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I definitely will talk to her about that. I think it's a dope idea.
Yeah, so we definitely have some more sipping socials in the works right now. I know me and CC have been working on one. Me and Kev have been working on one. The sipping social lights, we're gonna kind of make these more extended now. We had that me and Kev and Barry had that conversation today about making sure that we can do these consistently and not having this 40-minute time frame. Because a lot of these conversations we ain't done talking by the time to end. Like right now, we got
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But let's just keep doing these, man. Let's keep giving the game,
Mhm.
man, because at the end of the
I'm
day,
proud of you, twin.
I'm proud of you. Hey, I watch
Thank
you
you.
don't talk all the time, but I'll be paying attention.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I need to get down there where you are. So all this rain is making me sick.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, shit, you don't come down here right now. It's hurricane season. You
I
talk
know.
it rain every day down here. It's
Shh, you
still
be
beautiful though.
careful. And tell my girl Somali I said, hey.
Oh, you well, she gonna watch this, so she heard you.
Okay. Hey, Smiley girl. Make sure you keep it in there too.
Yeah. All right, so closing thoughts, man. What's one thing I really want to always come back to our youth, our young adults, because they are the future of us in this nation and in this world. So, same thing. I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked Barry. What's one thing that you feel like young black adults should stop doing, and what's one thing you feel like they should lean into?
I feel like you should stop focusing so much on the now and think about your future and that things and the decisions that you do right now, how it's going to affect you 5, 10 years down the road. Y'all, this generation younger than us, y'all have so much access and power in this phone that we didn't have when we was kids. Utilize that phone and really allow yourself to be in spaces to where you can learn something from somebody. Because if you are the smartest person in your group, you're going to always stay in the same position that you are. That's something that I did not realize until I got to where I'm at now. So always keep somebody around you who know a little bit more than you so that you can learn and not stay so complacent and comfortable and make the mistakes while you're young. That's the time where you need to make the mistakes in order to learn from, so that when you do get older, you're wiser and you're more responsible. And it ain't about how you look, it's not about the image. It's about I'm looking like this, but do I have money in my account right now if something was to happen to me and I can work? Am I put up? Is my family put up? To me, that's the more important than having a bunch of liabilities. So be mindful of what you watch and what you listening to, because that can stray you down a path of destruction with money. Because money is truly is the root of all evil.
Hmm. Hey, that's a perfect way to end it right there.
Mhm.
Hey, y'all, it's Marcus D. Leslie, Portfolio Manager for Marathon Capital Investments. This was Sipping Social Light with Kendra Rice, the incredible Kendra Rice.
Thank
Thank you so much for joining
you.
me tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm so blessed to be a part of this.
All right, let's stay locked in.
All
Hey,
right.
y'all, have a good day on purpose and go get you some money.
Period.